So thank you so much. Listen, I love being up on stage simply because I got a lot of information in my head, and I love nothing more than to help people through education and also the power of connection. So always with talks, I never know what I'm going to say until I really get up here. And I wanted to start out with this little concept. So I'm going to show you something, and I want you to just call out the first thing that you see.
Black dot.
Black dot. Okay. We're going to come back to that. Hadi, my assistant. I wanted to say a story. So I actually just got back from Singapore, and I wasn't meant to go there, and got an economy ticket to go up with my partner. And I don't know about you, has anyone ever been bumped up to business class?
Never.
As soon as you do that, you should pull the radio announcer card. So it's kind of like once you do that, you're kind of screwed for life. Because when, you know how I don't know why they do this. When you go on a plane, you have to walk through the business section just to piss you off. And then you go to the economy section, and then that little stewardess pokes her head out the curtains and then closes it on you. Like, you don't belong here. So I've been upgraded a couple of times because my partner has quite a few points. So on the way to Singapore, I got upgraded like last minute, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be an amazing trip. I saw dolphins in the morning, and whenever I see dolphins, I know it's going to be a great day. So go there, and I'm like, okay, princess, good. In the seat, got my like Kit Kat, everything. Coming back on the trip, like I poured acid into my eye that morning. You know when you have like I was a bit hungover, and I picked up the wrong contact lens solution, so I poured acid in my eye. Then it was like pouring rain, thundering, and I was like, no, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to get that upgrade because I may be small, but I need a lot of space. So go up to the front counter, and she's like, sorry, we're fully booked. And I'm like, I was about to say, do you not know who I am? Actually, you can see from my passport, but do you really not know who I am? Not really anyone yet, but I will be. So she like denied me. So then I went to the lounge, and I was like, they sent me actually up here from the front because they were saying that you might be able to help me get to the seat that I should be in. And then she was like, no, and by the way, you can't come into the lounge. You're not part of you're only bronze. And I was like, fuck, okay. So I was in this kind of mood, right? And like, I'm all about positivity, but I'm like, it's going to be 5 hours in a small seat. I just can't do it because I'm now a princess. So I get onto the flight and this and that. Before I get on, like this like scary looking police officer comes up to me and he's like, why are you going to Australia? Because he saw my Canadian passport. I'm like, because I live there? It's like, okay. So I was like scared because I was thinking, oh my God, they're going to think I'm a terrorist or something like that. I'm like, this. So I was just in this bad mindset getting onto the flight. But I'm like, no, it's a choice. I can be positive. And then the Kit Kat came out, and I was like, it's going to be a good flight. Because whenever there's chocolate and endless chocolate, I'm okay. There was this couple that clearly just had a newborn kid. They had a toddler and a newborn kid. And they were making a lot of noise. And I understand if I were a kid in economy, I would make a lot of noise too. So I could see everyone around me just giving looks. And I was just thinking, like, what are they supposed to do? It's like they're trying their best. So I plugged in. I'm like, no, I'm on a flight. I'm lucky enough to travel. I'm going to make this an awesome flight. I eat everything in sight because it's free. And watch 2 movies, a documentary. I had my Boss headphones on. I'm like getting in the groove. I'm like, I don't have to work. Everything's good. We land. Takes forever to get off, all that kind of stuff. So all this stuff is basically telling me you should be in a bad mood. You should be tired. You should be cranky. Get out, waiting for my Uber driver. And this guy next to me said, were you on that fucking flight? And I was like, yep. And he's like, oh, those fucking kids wouldn't shut up. And I was like, actually, I didn't really notice them because I was just in my own world. So I guess what I'm trying to say with all this is we get served up a lot of crap. And we're constantly looking for the negatives because that's what we're good at. we want something to blame. We want to say, oh, we're in economy class and God forbid, and like, what is this food? We're constantly looking for a negative. So to really change our mindset, it's a choice. So if my assistant can show me the picture again. So everyone, oh, it's permanent. So everyone here saw a black dot, right? Oh, a teddy bear, yeah. Well, what about all the white space? We really focus on just what we see. We focus and focus and focus on our quote-unquote flaws. We focus on the stress that's in our lives. But when's the last time that you really, opened up your field of view and started to look at all the good things in your life? Because at the end of the day, you guys remember that like choose your own adventure thing? Your life is in your control. You can choose whether you go to page 98 or page 46. And if you keep on making the same choices and you keep on getting eaten by dragons, sorry to say, we need to stop blaming all the things on the outside and start to say, well, I'm the common denominator. And yeah, that feels like a slap in the face. I know it. A lot of people don't like me for that because I'm calling it their bullshit. But if you really want to change your life, you have to stop relying on other people to do it. In the morning, if you want to start exercising more, you have to make that decision. If you want to start drinking less alcohol, which I don't recommend, but if for some reason you do, that's a choice. I go into every situation in my life thinking that there's an opportunity. In Singapore, I was actually just there to have a bit of a break, do a bit of work. I got invited to this essentially club, and I walked in there to all strangers. And I sat down next to someone, and I could make a choice whether to just go into my laptop and my phone or introduce myself. I ended up making about a half a dozen connections. Some of them might turn out to do something, others not. Sometimes it's just having a friendly conversation. Like I said, everything that I do is based on education. How do we concentrate more of our brain rather than our butt? We're very good at doing those squats. Drinking the kale, doing the squats, trying not to poop ourselves from all the fiber. But what are we doing actually to strengthen our brain? This is the most miraculous muscle, the one that's between our ears. And we know that even if you're born thinking a certain way, you can change your thinking. You can renovate your brain just like you can renovate a house. But the problem is, it takes a choice. And just because you've lived a certain way, I used to be addicted to drugs, I used to be sexually promiscuous, I've done everything in the book that I shouldn't have done. If I continue to look into the past, looking this way, yet I want to go into the future, how does that work if I'm constantly concentrating this way? The past is the past. If you want to put your energy back there, you're always going to be moving backwards. We can continue and continue and continue to say, I didn't really have that much of an opportunity. I grew up in a violent household, like my partner. He grew up on welfare. He grew up with an abusive father. He, when he was 15, sat on his bed and he said, I will never, ever, ever go on welfare, and I'm going to work my ass off to actually make something of myself. He never finished high school. He can't spell for shit, which drives me nuts. I don't understand, like 2, 2, and 2? No clue. It's in relationships, how they say 80-20? That's a big part of the 20. But that's okay. But point being, is his mom said, why don't you get a trade? You should be a bricklayer. You should be a carpenter. He said, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. And he goes into every situation thinking there's an opportunity. We have one life to live. And we all, even though men have balls, we have bigger balls. They're just invisible. So each one of you from today, I know you have something in your mind that you want to accomplish. And it's been percolating like a good pot of coffee. But let me tell you, fuck the coffee and get on with your life. You have to make actionable actions, behaviors to make it happen. We can't just sit back on our phones, double tapping, and expecting that we're going to come out the next day like J-Lo. Doesn't work that way. Do you want me to do a J-Lo song? Okay. In my mind, I can sing. I just know that's not the case. In the car, whenever I'm singing along to the tunes and like my partner said, I'm like, oh, I wish I could sing. And he's like, fuck, everyone wishes you could sing. But it's all about mindset and it's how you want to appear. So the one thing I really want to leave you guys with today is I would love to actually have a conversation with all of you. I don't know if that's going to be possible because I talk a lot and might not give you an opportunity to talk. But you have something in your mind right now. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's something that you want to improve. We're having a talk here. Maybe it's improvement in a relationship. Like my partner and I never see each other. We want to start seeing each other more because we're both busy. What is that goal that you want to achieve? Set a time frame. Plan it out. Just like if you were going to make a chocolate cake, you need the eggs, you need the butter, you need the extra chocolate so you eat it while you make it. You have to have a recipe, a plan of action. Then you're going to do that plan of action. You're going to put it into action. After that, it's probably not going to go perfectly. So you have to sit and reflect. Then you improve. And then guess what? You do it again and again and again. I'm going to keep on talking, actually. So do you know that the eagle, you know the American bird, the strength of the sky? When it goes to try to capture prey, it fails 9 out of 10 times. So it will swoop down to get a mouse and it will fail 9 out of 10 times. Yet it's seen as the most powerful bird of the sky in the most powerful country of the world, in the world. So if you're thinking that it's just going to be a whole bunch of successes, whether that's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's education, it just ain't like that. So go out there and fail, but learn from it and repeat. So again, think of something that you want to achieve after today. Draw a line in the sand, make a decision, cut off the past. That's what decision means. It comes from the Latin roots to cut off. So cut off the past, including the bad 80s fashions, and move on and have a life filled with authenticity and action. Thank you.